Drinking buddies, we have an emergency episode because I really needed to get this review out. This is going to be the Little Book Infinite, Batch 1. Let's go.
I'm your drinking buddy.
All right, drinking buddies, before we get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any of these updates. Definitely make sure that you hit like before you go because that really helps out my channel a lot. And yeah, what is Little Book the Infinite Batch 1? Well, the No's got together, so that's Booker No, Freddie No, and Fred No. 3 generations of master distillers. Well, are they all master distillers? Anyway, 3 generations of distillers at Beam came together to blend this thing up, and it's pretty expensive. It's like $200 MSRP. Is it worth that? I don't know. It's a lot of money. It's a 20-year Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey that was picked by Booker, a 14-year Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey that was picked by Fred, and then a 7-year Kentucky Straight bourbon whiskey picked by Freddie, and then they all together picked an 8-year. So it's a 7, an 8, a 14, and a 20. And yeah, as I said, pretty expensive bottle, but is it good? I mean, initial reactions, the nose smells very special. Like, this is, it's bright, it's citrusy, but there's also complexity. So you got some of the youthy things coming through, where you get like the bright and citrusy things, but you also get the like darker cherries and oaky things going on from the 14 and 20 years. Okay, so there's a little bit of peanut here. There's some nice oak presence. It's a little bit bright and sweet. Amazing viscosity, like really syrupy. Wow, yeah, I really like that. Got to go back in. I don't know if I said it's 119.3 proof, but this drink's dramatically lower than that. I would guess this is about 100 proof off of the palate and finish. Finish is nice and long, little bit of a tobacco thing on the finish. You know what I think we need to do? I think we need to compare it to Little Book Chapter 7. This is 8, right? That's 8. Seven. Man, oh, it's so low. It's so good. I've used this in a few blinds with friends, so. All right. Let's do a little comparison here, because this one was way less. It was like 125. And a similar idea where we're taking some older stuff, some younger stuff, and mixing in some wild things. So. Nose is a little bit malty. There's some interesting stuff in 7s. It's not as straightforward as this. There's some rye in here, there's some rice whiskey in here, and there's some malt whiskey in here, but the blend is mostly bourbon. That's why I wanted to compare the two. Now that I've gone to this, there's some similar things going on over here between the two. Now I'm getting like this really nice like cherry oak thing over here, a little medicinal. But yeah, now I'm also picking up that there's almost no peanuts on here, and it's making this one taste even more peanut buttery. So this is drinking like a Booker's with more age on it, if that makes sense. Bookers tend to be between 6 and 8 years old, and the Little Books are all over the map. Yeah. I will say, I am not sure this is as good as Little Book Chapter 7. which is disappointing considering the price point. But I would say that the Little Book 7 was, you know, it was a top 5 whiskey of last year for me. So even in the blinds, that's how it shook out in the blinds. I think it finished like 3rd or 4th. I think it finished 3rd. And then some friends of mine and I did a unicorn flight about a month ago. I don't remember what was all in there. But we took like the best from a bunch of distilleries. So it was like Russell's 13. It was a really good Elijah. Oh, that's what it was. It was a Russell's 13, a really good Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. I think it was C923. Little Book Chapter 7. And my thought was, can these whiskeys beat just an average stag? And this absolutely mopped the floor with everything. I don't feel like it was close, and it won for all of us. Actually, I don't know if it won for all of us, but it won overall when you add the points together. But it was my favorite of the bunch. I finished filming this, put away the tripod, I put away the bottles, and then I decided I need another pour of this because this is a hard one to nail down. It's $200, and I'm borderline not recommending it for that price. So let's give it one more shot. I don't really want to bog you down with the same tasting notes twice, so I'm only going to tell you if I find something new here that I didn't get before. A little bit of a funky cinnamon thing on the nose. A little bit of a marshmallow thing I didn't pick up before. Yeah, so it's just kind of confirming what I was thinking about it since I stopped filming the video. There's a lot of Jim Beam releases coming up that I believe will all be better than this. So this is not as good as last year's Knob Creek 18. This is not as good as earlier in the year's Jacob's Creek, Hardin's Creek, Jacob's Well. This isn't as good as Little Book Chapter 8. This is not as good as last year's Baker's 13 or Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. This is a weaker offering for me from Jim Beam. I don't think this is worth even close to its asking price. It tastes a little bit better than a Booker's, and it's just an absolute pass for me. I'm completely changing my tune on it, having since let it sit in the glass. I finished the first glass, and now I have this to finish. Do I like it? Yes. But it is just not worth its asking price. Anyway, buddies, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you. Every time you guys like these videos, every time you guys subscribe to the channel, you make this thing possible. Cheers.
I'm your